Week 23 U.S. history launch. This is just going to be a very short launch this week because we are just kind of working through each of the checkpoints, and they're very similar to the previous ones. So it's just getting a new topic basically to work with. Just a reminder that the Civil War art project is due on February 26th. So hopefully you are on pace with the art project and you are working through the checkpoints as they're assigned. If you're not, you do have, the rest of this month to get it done, but trying to make sure that you are on pace with the class. We are moving on to checkpoint 5 this week, which is why study the Civil War. When you open up that checkpoint, it's going to look like this. Your essential question is, why is it important to study the Civil War, and why does it matter to us today? So like all of these other checkpoints, you're going to be writing a paragraph. You're going to be using evidence from quotes. Using evidence, which is quotes from the sources off to the right. So I've put this arrow here. You're going to find your quotes over here. And then in addition to the paragraph, you're also going to have your fifth and final piece of art that's going to be going into your art portfolio, which is your final product. So when you click into the resource over here, The Legacy of the Civil War and Slavery Today, that's going to bring you to a resource like this. It's going to have step 1 and step 2. So I recommend exploring some of these resources and taking some notes, because this is how you're going to find your evidence for your opinion on checkpoint 5. We're not going to be doing a group discussion. This is solely for you to be able to write your paragraph for checkpoint 5. But you're going to need it for your final product as well, to be able to explain why it is important that we study the Civil War. So as you know, the Civil War was founded in slavery, which is a very racist issue. It went back a long time, and it took a very, very long time to get over. And sometimes I think people would say that issue still is not completely resolved. So what you're going to do is you're going to explore some of these resources. So step 1 would be about the America's divide today. I'm sure you're aware, either from listening to parents or grandparents or whatever talk, or watching the news or being on social media, it's a pretty divided time it can feel very divided, whether it be between blacks or whites or Mexicans or other races, as well as between political parties of Republican and Democrat. It's a very polarized time. So what these are going to be resources that just kind of give you a little bit of insight into that. And then these ones are going to be on step 2. It's resources about the experiences of African Americans today. So really understanding some of the social injustices that still exist. And then from reading some of those, you're just going to be coming up with your claim and just responding to, why is it important that we still study the Civil War today? So just getting your information from these. Just remember that you are also doing your art project with it. So when you turn in your art piece, if you choose to do the collage, you want to make sure that you're using Google Drawings, which is drawings.google.com. So please don't just copy and paste a bunch of images into a Google Doc and call that art. I would at least like to see it in a real collage format, where you try a little bit harder than a Google Doc. But if you have any questions about how to complete checkpoint 5 or complete any of the previous checkpoints, please reach out to me this week.